It used to be that if you wanted to pull off, a multi-million-dollar heist, you needed a whole crew. A safecracker, a getaway driver.
Right, maybe someone on the inside. It was physical.
Totally. It was analog, it was messy, and there was a ton of risk.
Oh yeah, huge risk. You leave fingerprints, you get caught on tape.
Exactly. But today, Tuesday, February 10th, 2026, we're looking at a heist that honestly makes Ocean's 11 look like amateur hour. And the really scary part, you don't need a safecracker anymore. You just need a Zoom account, a face that isn't yours, and a victim who is just, well, trying to be polite.
The politeness is the key. It's the critical vulnerability here. It's the skeleton key.
So we are doing a deep dive into a brand new report from Bleeping Computer based on research from Mandiant. It dropped just this morning, and it unpacks a campaign by North Korean hackers.
Specifically a group they're calling UNC Jonizel 69.
And they're targeting the crypto sector. And reading through this, it feels less like a cybersecurity report and more like the script for some kind of cyberpunk horror movie.
It really does.
Yeah.
We are so far beyond your standard Prince of Nigeria email scam here. This is state-sponsored theater. They're staging these elaborate productions to compromise really high-value targets.
The theatricality is what got me. Fake meetings, AI-generated CEOs, and a malware arsenal just loaded for bear and designed specifically to rip apart macOS security.
And that, for me, is the real headline here, the shift to macOS. For years, people in tech, in creative industries, especially in crypto, they've had this myth.
I have a Mac, I don't get viruses.
Exactly. This report basically takes a sledgehammer to that entire idea.
Okay, so let's set the scene. You're a high-level exec at a crypto exchange. Maybe you're a developer. You've been chatting with a potential partner on Telegram.
And this partner isn't a bot. This is a cultivated persona. They've probably been talking to you for weeks. They know the lingo. They know the market. They might even be using a hijacked account of someone you actually know.
Right, so that trust is already there. They send a Calendly link, which is totally normal. You book a time. You jump on the video call. And this is where the production value really kicks in.
You see a face you recognize. Maybe it's the CEO of a big VC firm. You hear their voice, but it's a deepfake.
And we're not talking about those glitchy, low-res deepfakes from 3 or 4 years ago. The tech in 2026 is, it's almost seamless.
But the deepfake itself isn't the actual attack, right? That's just the misdirection.
It's the magician waving the red handkerchief, exactly.
Right.
It's the lure. The real attack happens when the CEO starts having, quote, audio issues.
They're tapping their headset. They look frustrated. They type in the chat, "Can you hear me? I can't hear you."
And right there, the dynamic shifts. You go from a business negotiation to, impromptu tech support. And nobody wants to be the one holding up a deal because they can't figure out Zoom.
And that social tension is the weapon. You want to be helpful. So when a little pop-up appears or they paste a link in the chat saying, "Hey, try this fix," you don't even think twice. This is what the researchers are calling the ClickFix technique.
ClickFix. It sounds so harmless, like a software update or something.
It's designed that way.
Right.
It might look like a CAPI CHEA or a prompt to update your audio drivers.
Uh-huh.
But what it usually involves is asking you, the victim, to copy and paste a command into your terminal.
And that just blows my mind. They are asking you to open the hood of your own computer and literally type in the instructions for your own robbery.
And people do it. Because when you paste that command, you're telling your computer, "I authorize this, I'm the admin, and I want this code to run." You are personally bypassing the gatekeeper.
So you run the quote-unquote fix. Maybe the audio starts working, maybe the call just drops and they say they'll reschedule. But by then, the damage is already done.
The house is on fire. Mandiant analyzed a victim's machine from this exact campaign, and they didn't just find one piece of malware. They found 7 distinct malware families deployed on a single host.
7. On one laptop. That feels like overkill, doesn't it? It's like sending a SWAT team to catch a jaywalker.
Well, it's an all-in strategy. It's about redundancy and persistence. We're calling it the 7-headed Hydra approach. If your security software catches one and cleans it, there are 6 others hiding in different parts of the system.
Well, if you actually break down this arsenal, because the tools tell a story about who they're targeting, the report groups them into a few categories, right? The usual suspects, and then this new terrifying trio.
Right. So let's start with a heavy lifter, a tool they call SugarLoader.
Sounds sweet. I'm guessing it's not.
Definitely not. SugarLoader is a C++ downloader, and the report notes this one is noisy. It has the most detections on VirusTotal because its job is just brute force.
And what's its main goal?
Persistence. It creates something called a launch daemon.
Okay, for those of us who don't live in the Mac terminal, what's a launch daemon?
Think of your computer like an office building. Most programs need to swipe a badge to get in every time you start up. A launch daemon has basically set up a sleeping bag in the lobby. It starts the moment the computer boots, even before you log in.
So even if you restart your Mac to try and clear the glitch, they're already there waiting for you.
They're there. And SugarLoader kicks the door open and holds it. Then the spies walk in.
And who are the spies?
Tools like WaveShaper and HyperCall. WaveShaper is a backdoor that just sits there and listens. It communicates with the hacker server using standard HTTP requests.
So to any network monitoring tool, it just looks like you're browsing the web.
Exactly. It just blends in with all your other traffic. And HyperCall is even sneakier. It's written in Golang.
We're seeing a lot of malware in Golang these days. Why is that?
It's versatile. You can write it once and compile it to run on Windows, Linux, and Mac pretty easily. And HyperCall uses RC4 encryption and communicates over WebSockets on port 443.
Port 443. That's the secure web traffic port, right? The little padlock in your browser.
That's the one. It's the one port you can't block if you actually want to use the internet. So you have what looks like a secure banking connection, but it's really the malware phoning home to North Korea.
Okay, so they're persistent, they're hiding their traffic. But the report highlights 3 new tools. Mandiant calls it a new set of tooling. And these sound, they sound incredibly invasive.
Invasive is the right word. The first of this new trio is Silence Lift. And this one is chilling. It's a backdoor that specifically monitors your lock screen status.
So it wants to know if you're at your desk or if you've walked away to get coffee.
Yes. So the hackers know when to operate when you aren't looking. But it has an even darker feature. If it gets root privileges, it can actively interrupt or kill the Telegram application.
Wait, kill Telegram? Why? That's how they contacted the victim in the first place.
Okay, think about the attack timeline. You're on that fake Zoom call. You're starting to get suspicious. Maybe the deepfake glitches for a second. What's your first instinct?
To message the real person on Telegram and say, hey, are we on a call right now?
And Silence Lift cuts the line. It crashes the app. It stops you from sending that warning or getting an SOS. It isolates you in the moment of attack.
That is just incredibly predatory. It's digital gaslighting. Oh, your Telegram crash? Your computer must be acting up again. You should really run that audio fix script I sent you.
Exactly. It just reinforces their narrative. And once you're isolated, they deploy the really heavy hitter, a tool called DEEPBREATH.
Even the name sounds awful, like, take a deep breath, it'll all be over soon.
Well, DEEPBREATH is so dangerous because it's written in Swift.
Which is Apple's own native programming language.
Right. So this isn't some clunky Windows virus they've ported over. This is native macOS code designed to attack the TCC database.
TCC, that's transparency, consent, and control.
It's basically the bouncer for macOS. It's responsible for all those pop-ups, Zoom would like to access your camera, or Dropbox needs access to your documents folder. It's supposed to be the fortress wall of Apple's privacy model.
And DEEPBREATH just gets around it.
Doesn't just get around it. It actually modifies the database.
Yeah.
It adds itself to the VIP list.
Yeah.
So the malware grants itself permissions to everything without you ever seeing a single pop-up.
So it can just steal everything.
Everything. Keychain credentials, browser cookies, all of it. But Mandiant specifically pointed out that it targets Apple Notes.
Apple Notes, really? Why? It's just a scratch pad.
Is it? I mean, be honest. If I opened your Apple Notes right now and searched for the word password or seed phrase, what would I find?
I mean, okay, point taken. Yeah, Wi-Fi passwords, gate codes, maybe a backup key you didn't want to lose.
You and pretty much everyone else. People assume because it's on their Mac and synced to iCloud that it's safe. UNCO on 6.9 knows this. They are hunting for that unstructured data, the secrets we write down when we think no one is looking.
So DEEPBREATH cleans out all your digital pockets. And then there's the third one, Chrome Push.
Chrome Push is the watcher. It installs itself as a browser extension, but it disguises itself as Google Docs offline.
I have that extension. I think everyone has that extension. I never even look at it.
And that's the camouflage. It hides in plain sight.
Yeah.
But while you're browsing, it's logging your keystrokes, it's stealing your session cookies, and it can even take screenshots of your browser.
So if I log into my crypto exchange, even if I have two-factor authentication,
They don't need your password anymore. They just grab the session cookie, they hijack your active session and just become you.
it's total surveillance. They watch you, they isolate you, they steal your keys, and then they empty your accounts. Which brings us to the WHO, UNC 1069.
North Korea. Specifically, Elements tied to the group you might have heard of called Blunerov.
Also known as Sapphire Sleet or TA-44, right?
Exactly. They're essentially the state-sponsored bank robbers for the DPRK, and they've been active for years, since about 2018.
But their targets have evolved, haven't they?
Massively. In 2023, they were all about Web3 developers. Then, in mid-2025, Huntress researchers saw them shifting. Now, in 2026, they are laser-focused on financial services, payment processors, crypto brokerages.
They're moving up the food chain.
They're following the money. They want the big, centralized wallets. And this pivot to macOS confirms that. Who holds the keys to the crypto kingdom? Developers, C-suite executives, founders.
And what computers do those people use?
Almost exclusively MacBook Pros. You walk into any crypto conference, any developer hub, it's a sea of glowing Apple logos. The hackers know this. They built this entire tool set, Swift, Golang, AppleScript, specifically for that high-value demographic.
It's a calculated business decision for them, high investment in this bespoke malware for a high return on the targets.
And the return isn't just the money they steal today. This is the part of the Mandiant report that really gave me a chill. It's a detail that's easy to miss. They aren't just stealing crypto. They're stealing identity data to, and I'm quoting here, fuel future social engineering campaigns.
I saw that line. Let's unpack that. What does that actually mean?
Well, think about that deepfake that started this whole attack. To make a convincing deepfake of a CEO, you need hours of training data. High-quality audio, video, you need to know their mannerisms, their schedule.
And by hacking these executives.
They get their private Zoom recordings, they get their voice notes from iMessage, they get their email history, so they know exactly how that person talks to their colleagues. They learn the internal slang, the project code names.
So they hack Executive A today, steal his face and voice, and then they use that to trick Executive B next week.
It's a self-feeding cycle, a flywheel of fraud. The more they succeed, the better their tools and their disguises become. That compromised Telegram account they used to send you the meeting link, that was probably stolen from a victim in a previous attack.
That's terrifying. It means every single successful attack weaponizes that victim against their own network. You become the bait for your friends and colleagues.
It creates a viral effect. And as the AI gets better every month, the little glitches in the deepfakes we look for now, they're just going to disappear.
So knowing all this, knowing there's a seven-headed hydra waiting behind a polite request to fix your audio, what do we actually do? Because just saying don't click links feels, I don't know, a bit inadequate here.
Don't click links is 1990s advice. It doesn't work anymore. The new rule has to be skepticism is your only true antivirus. And specifically, skepticism about fixes.
What do you mean by that?
If you're on a video call, I don't care if it looks and sounds like your boss, your partner, or the president, and they ask you to run code or download a file to fix a technical issue.
You hang up?
You hang up. Immediately. No hesitation. Legitimate software like Zoom or Teams will never ask you to paste code into a terminal to fix audio. It's just not how software works. If you see that request, it is an attack 100% of the time.
But the social pressure is real. It feels rude. You're in a meeting. You don't want to be difficult.
Be rude. Being rude is better than explaining to your board why you lost $10 million of client funds. Be the difficult one. Call them back on their actual phone number. Verify on a completely different channel. Just say, hey, did you just ask me to run a script?
And if they're legit, they won't mind the double check.
Real security pros respect paranoia. Hackers rely on you being polite.
And maybe, just maybe, stop putting your seed phrases in Apple Notes.
Please, get a hardware wallet. Use a dedicated password manager. Apple knows is convenient, I get it, but as we've just seen with DeepBreath, it is the first place these guys look. It's like leaving your house key under the doormat.
It really feels like we're moving into a zero-trust era for all communication. We can't trust the video, we can't trust the voice.
We are, and that brings up a really uncomfortable question for the future, one that I think every business is going to have to deal with very, very soon.
Which is what?
If these groups are harvesting our biometrics, our faces, our voices on this scale, and the AI keeps improving, how long until remote verification just becomes impossible?
You mean a point where we simply can't trust that a video call is real, ever?
Exactly. If the library of stolen identities gets big enough, we might see a total reversal of the last 20 years of tech. The only way to close a major deal might be to get on a plane and shake hands in person.
That's a wild thought. We spent 2 decades building a world to avoid meetings, and a group of hackers might force us all back into boardrooms just to prove we're real.
It's a real possibility. The era of believing your eyes on a screen is officially over.
Well, on that cheerful note, Verify your meetings, lock down your terminal, and for the love of crypto, clean out your Notes app. Thanks for listening to this deep dive.
Stay vigilant.